Alrighty. It's been a long time since I've streamed, so please let me know if this is working. I'm going to pop out the chat. And of course, Australian internet, so we'll see how we go. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome to the first stream in 1.5 years on Maker's Muse. On a Creality printer, no less. This is crazy. It's really funny how this came about, actually, because I haven't reviewed a Creality machine for ages, years. And I thought they had sort of decided, we've moved on. But they reached out and they said, hey, do you want to review the SparkX i7, which a lot of creators already talked about. And I was like, yeah, here's my terms. I'm more than happy to. It's an unbiased review. I'd love to check it out and give you my honest thoughts. Now, yeah, we'll send it over. All right, awesome. All right, because it's a brave new world in the world of 3D printing. We've got machines that are more affordable than ever, faster than ever, more reliable than ever, and everyone's trying to catch up. And I'm really interested to see how this fares. See if the chat's working. Good, seems to be working. All right. Any issues? Let me know. Let's dive right in. By the way, new studio. You might have seen it in some recent videos. I had to rip out the old carpet, which was disgusting, and I painted the back wall so it's a less horrible, like, baby poo grey. Now it's just a grey. All right, I need my scalpel. Cut the box open, which has gone missing, so I'll just use a pen. Where is it? I need my knife. There it is. That little toolbox I did for the robots has proved invaluable. Show us your robot. There's so many robots. They're all in pieces. Alrighty, so how best to do this? Let's put it back on the floor and then put it on the table. And we will transfer it to a more stable table, I promise. I actually have one now. Hello, welcome Totem Car Man. Amazing. Hey, Lightspeed, dude, been a long time. Hope you're going well. I do hope you're doing well indeed. Haven't been able to catch up with anyone for a very long time. 15-minute Benchy. I'll see what the demo file is. Usually it's just a 15-minute Benchy. Which is crazy, right? Because they used to take an hour. Like, not too long ago. Okay. I think I'll tilt this so you can have a look. The kitties may wander in as well. Don't be alarmed. Alrighty. So we have a filament holder. Very familiar looking filament holder. This is 4-color capable with the additional module, but it would just run 1 color if you don't go for it. But they have sent the full 4-color package. So that's pretty neat. So that's AMS system, which they're calling the CFS Lite. Pretty snazzy, a lot of plastic on it. Put it over here. The music is super loud. There's music? There shouldn't be any music, dude. What are you talking about? Or am I super loud? Okay, let's get him out. Yeah, what? Yeah. All right, lots of, this is expanded polyethylene, EPE, I think, not EPS. So every printer on the planet packs their printers in EPE, and it's really hard to dispose of, very hard to recycle. You can see it weighs nothing. It's chemical resistant. And I have so much of it under the house, I don't know what to do with it. I might melt it down into something one day, make products from it. Because our tip doesn't really accept it. They charge you per volume, not by weight, because it weighs nothing. And it's too big to put in the bin. So I just have it. I've just kept it for years. But it's very good packing. All right, here we go. Here's the main show. There we go. It's actually pretty light. It's not too bad. Great knee pads. Yeah, they actually would make good knee pads. Cosplay as well, but you can't paint it. You can't paint EPE. All right. Can you see that? Yes, yes you can. Cool. Yeah, lock in place. Lock in place. This table is terrible. All right. So there we have it. Interesting. Very interesting. Very familiar. This is the classic table. Yes, it is. But I do have a better one behind it, which we'll move to when we're testing. All right, now I need to find a quick start guide, which I'm hoping is in here. Did I miss it? Yes, here it is. Here we go. Excellent. All right. I'm gonna need some side cutters for those. It's easy enough. The box. So we have the SparkX i7. i7 is an interesting naming choice. It's not an Intel processor, but anyway. So it looks pretty much complete out of the box. There's only a few things to do, mostly removing packing locks, which is totally fine. So we'll take the cardboard off and we'll snip these little zippy ties. Oop, Tully's in the room. Hi, baby. To make sure these aren't found by the cats, because they love zip ties. They go nuts for them. This is very much like one-way packaging. I don't think you'd really be able to reuse this if you had to set it back. It's not going to go back on the same way. Cool. All right. That's a nice linear rail, actually. It's a thick belt. It's a nice, probably GT2. And looks like a 12mm rail, linear rail. Very nice. Sturdy. yeah, design language. It's this sort of off-white, not quite beige, but sort of almost sort of like a slightly grey tinted white is the new colour of printers in 2026. Well, for the last 2 years, actually. Sorry if that's loud. A lot of fibre tape. Shipping it with the bed on the printer is a choice. Not sure if Bamboo Lab does that. Sort of risks it getting damaged in transit, but it looks alright. It's nice, quite rough PEI. PEI is sort of, I'd assume PEI. Print bed. Yeah, yeah. So the axes have these little locking blocks on them, as does a few other printers, and yeah, they're very easy to forget. So thank you for the reminder. So I'll show you those in a second. Otherwise, your Z-axis won't be happy when you try to hone the printer. All right, so yeah, what we're talking about, these things. So we've got to undo these. And I could use their Allen keys, which I'm sure I'd totally... Hi, Dad. I told my dad I was streaming. Should have answered the call. The right size? Nope. Is my dual screen laptop still working? That is old. Yeah, so I had an Asus dual screen laptop that I did a collab with them ages ago with. It was really good. Actually, it's a sick laptop. It lasted for ages. It still works, but the battery eventually went in it, and I haven't fixed it. So it still works on power. But yeah, I used that for years for 3D modeling work, because you could like watch a Twitch stream as you were modeling. It's fantastic. Cool. A1, you have to attach the gantry and plug in some cables. I mean, I would have done it because I reviewed the A1, but I can't remember. There was definitely more things to do in it. I do remember a couple of more, especially like assembling the AMS light, which is just this alien monstrosity, took a lot more effort. Some nice little screws, actually. I'll keep them for robots. Makes me a bit sad when it's like single-use hardware like that. Like no one's ever going to reuse that. Okay. Now, I might just run it, the test print single, or should, okay, you guys decide. Should I run the first test print with a single color, or should we hook up the AMS and just go nuts? Should go straight to it. I'm happy to do both. I'll have to move it to the other table though. It's a little bit more appliance-like, I'd say, than the A1. It's more, the base is definitely chunkier, much chunkier. Like it's inflated a bit. That's that's familiar. Yeah. All right, full send. I'm happy to full send. I want to see how it works. Cosmetic covers, right? Yeah. Good job. Yeah, this happened on the Snapmaker. When I was unboxing the Snapmaker, the fiber tape was stronger than the crappy cosmetic covers that snapped into place. Like, it doesn't do anything, it just makes the corner look nicer. That's really funny. Okay. So I'm going to rearrange a bit so I can get the AMS in. Let's do that. Oh, it's crazy how big these boxes are. Like, constantly having to deal with cardboard. All right, we've got a spare print bed, lovely. We've got our tools, which I will use if I need to. I'm sure they're great. See if the axes move freely. Yes, very nice actually. Yeah, like I said, there's a nice linear rail at the top, like really nice. We've got Acme threads for, I shouldn't have done that, for both sides of Z, so it's not like cantilevered, and rods for, Y? It's still morning, the Y-axis, which is fairly typical. Nothing groundbreaking there. Oh, the U1 Quick Start says to hold the plastic panels when you pull the tape. Yeah, they must have added that after a certain someone's review. I'm sure it happened to other people. That's the thing. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm sure a lot of you aren't. When I approach reviews, I have like a list of terms I send to companies. And they are literally like, I will be unbiased and approach this as if I'm a newbie and just show everything and document the process. So, like, I'm not going to be super technical in my reviews because if you're buying this machine, you're not going to be super technical, are you? You're not going to have 10 years of 3D printing experience. It's probably going to be your first 3D printer. So I approach it like that. Like, I try to just be casual about it, and then I want to show you guys what works and what doesn't. I'm not going to dive into firmware and custom hot ends and stuff because you're not going to do that. I want to see if it works. Because if it works, you'll have a good time. If it doesn't work, you'll have a bad time. And that's it. They're unpaid. They can't see the video before I release it. If there's any like catastrophic manufacturing issue or damage in transit happens sometimes, I'll let the company know. But other than that, yeah, what you see is what you get. What is this thing at the back? It's got like a tail. Is this like a Wi-Fi antenna? You seeing this? That's begging to snap off. I'm gonna assume it's the Wi-Fi antenna. Try putting it on the wobbly table. I'm not sure. I might do... screw it. We'll fire it up here. And then we'll move it over. Because it's just going to be funny. Like, for old time's sake. What's the best stitch? I need to... Where's the quick start guide? The screen's on the side. Who does that? There it is. spacer to keep it properly oh, it could be. So when you push it to the, oh yeah. They've added that because the cable for the bed would press against the wall and probably kink. Gotcha. That's very funny. That was definitely added like after production had started. All right, let's connect up the CFS light, which is very simple by the looks of it. Is that not the print bed? I thought that was a print bed. Why is it textured? I'm very confused. All right. All right, my mistake. That's not actually the print bed. That's just what the print bed goes on. Even though it's got a PEI texture, like it looks exactly like a print surface. All right, my mistake. That looks more like a standard gold PEI because a lot of the Prusa PEI plates have like a black tint to them. But this is, yeah, okay. That's sort of more what you'd be familiar with. That gold tint. That makes more sense. All right, cool. How's the alignment? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to align. It's not like the the Bamboo X1C where like it gets caught at the back and then like it's not flat. You have to be really careful. That's all right, that's easy. Yeah, all right. My mistake. Let's get the CFS connected up. So far, extremely easy. Like nothing to assemble. I'm just yapping at you. Okay, place it to the left side. All right, fine. We'll rearrange it. All right, there's not gonna be enough room on this table. Sorry. We'll have to put it at the big one. That's the thing, as soon as you add a multicolor system, the footprint of the printer just balloons. I actually don't run them very often because they take up so much space. I'll move you closer, don't worry. Tully's just wandering around. All right, let's shift this over. Like that. There you go. Cool. All right, this is a much better table. Much better table than the old one. Okay. 4 PTFE tubes. Let's grab those. It always amuses me that, like, to this day, companies ship their printers with, like, a tiny sample spool of plastic that's just loose and will inevitably tangle and stuff up your first print. Like, if you run this to do the speed Benchy, it will tangle. It's, like, guaranteed, because it'll loop on itself. I don't know. No one uses this Creality. Like, tell them that the printer comes with no spools in the box, and then give them a discount to get a cheap spool. Like, that's how you do it. It's not just Creality, like everyone does that. No one, they ship this just tiny useless sample. Especially on fast printers, you don't have time to react. It just will just loop and tangle. Tully's just running around the floor, fascinated by everything that's going on. Okay, let's hook this up. They're different lengths, so they're all the same. They're all the same. Don't think it should really matter. I kind of like it to be sequential though, that's just me. Good. And then we've got a little splitter. That's a bit fiddly. That's very fiddly. How are we meant to do that? Break them off the little holder and then put it back on it. This bit could be improved. Oh, one. Two. Right. Okay. Right, so for that, I'd recommend unclipping it from the little organizers and then sticking it in. Like, you can't do them all at once. Tully, what are you doing? Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Over here. Chaos. Always chaos with cats. All right, need the tool head cable. Which is there. All right, just a small note. I know this has just started to ship. That's not an Australian plug, is it? So I'm gonna have to check the voltage. That's, what is that? What is that plug? Is that America? Is that US? You tell me. If it is, the voltage, I mean, the modern power supplies can switch between the two automatically. I'll double check though. Yeah, okay. A US plug in Australia. All right, I'll double check the voltage before I go any further, because if it's not fixable, that's a problem, but I'm sure it is. Let's see. Yeah, it's one of the ones that switches automatically. 100, 120, and 200 to 240. Cool. Thankfully, I have plenty of IEC cables. Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, if you plugged your US printer into Australian mains voltage, it just would blow up. And it would happen a lot because like Banggood and, was it Gearbest? Who remembers Gearbest? They'd be shipping like the crappest printers known to man. And they didn't care where they went. So if you chose the wrong version, which is very easy to do, you could just blow it up. Okay. Oh, come on. It's meant to be easy. Tool head data cable. There you go. Nice cables. Actually, they're slightly rubberized. They've got a good lock on them. Very similar, very familiar 6-pin plug. All right, so how's this work? Lock, unlock. Very easy. Tell you attacking the box. All right. Obviously these rollers were going flying during shipping, so they've put little tape over them to lock them in place. I can't see the chat, I need to make it bigger. My eyes are not what they used to be. How do I make this larger? There we go. John, I agree completely. 3D printers used to be like, yo, the manual's on the USB stick. Just they're so inconvenient. And I think Prusa still does it, like the assembly manuals. I mean, to be fair, the printers are pretty hard to assemble. Well, not hard, just a lot. They're still like an online thing, which means you can update it, which is great. But like, they go to the effort for a printed, quick, like general how to 3D print guide. But a lot of it's still online. Just a printed assembly guide is amazing. So necessary. All right, I'm gonna need another IEC cable. Thankfully, there's one just like at my feet. So let's just use that one. All right, and find some power. This room is already a complete death trap, and I've only just set it up. So I'm already seeing a usability issue. I'm sure you guys have noticed. Screen's there. Printer's there. Screen's there. Does it pivot? Does it actually not pivot? We'll find out. I hope it pivots. I'm not going to bother with desiccant because I'm only going to print with PLA. All right, let's put in. That's good. We've got enough room for the bed. All right, let's turn them on. Let's do it. Oh, I can. Yeah, it's just tight. I don't want to break it. All right, that's not too bad. Still, the footprint's huge. Look at the display graphics. I don't know if you freaking can see that. It's like full-on animations. Man, it's crazy how far things have come in just the last 3 years. Like, if you got like a LCD screen, you're lucky. It is, however, just doing the same animation again and again and again. AMS on the top is the way to go. Yeah, but I can see that. Meow. It would just be like, you'd need additional hardware. You'd have to set it up. I see you could just build some, like a box section thing. That wouldn't be too bad, actually. That'd be the way to go. Am I expecting to make the journey to open source this year? Sadly not. I'm not really going anywhere this year, so I'm keep touching this box. Oh, there we go. I'll get it out of the room in a second. All right. English, yes. Remove the so it's telling me, okay. I actually really like this, so it's telling me what to do to set the printer up. But it kind of makes the manual redundant if you're going to see this first. Or see this second. I've already done that, it's fine. Okay, privacy policy. Should I read their privacy policy? Yes, it's very long. I'm going to agree to it. Always read your privacy policies, especially these days. I'm going to skip Wi-Fi for now, just because I'm going to print whatever's on the demo. And I'm not making an account. That's going to come later. I'll do a full review, of course. All right, self-check time. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's quite a while. Oh, we've got RGB. Yeah, I did see this in the videos. That's actually pretty slick. Like, it wouldn't have cost them much to do that. It looks pretty nice. Someone needs to make a printer with an HDMI port. Funny you should say that, because I forgot the brand. There we go, that's a bit better. They used an HDMI port for the extruder connector. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people use USB-C, which is like stupid because you just accidentally plug something in and blow it up. But yeah, HDMI has been used before as well. Like they would use just random connectors that could potentially carry the current if they passed it along enough for the pins. No, like that's terrible. Thankfully, no, like companies don't do that anymore. She's fascinated. Aren't you, darling? Yes. No, don't do that. Let's come have a look. Have a squish. What do you think? Chuck that chicken leg in. There you go. No? Don't want it? No, go around that table. Go on. Down you go. All right, I'm just going to quickly get this box out of the way because I'm going to trip over it and die. Ah, yes, the resonance sweep. Remember when, like, I first unboxed the X1C and I first heard, like, the sweep? It, like, blew my mind. Ah, Shivel, it's so good to see you. It's been so long. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Alrighty. Alright, while this is doing that, I'm going to get some filament unboxed. So, thankfully they did send some filament, so we don't have to print with that tiny sample in the AMS. Ooh, that's a strong resonating frequency right there. The floor's shaking. Yeah, glad you're alive. Last 6 months or so have been pretty crazy here as well. Oh, all right. Bit late, but they did pack me an Australian power cable in the filament box, which is nice. But I didn't know that, and they didn't say that. Oh well. So maybe they'll do that for the Australian machines. All right. What we got? Hyper PLA white and Hyper PLA, where's the color? Viva magenta? Oh yes, hello. Hello. And blue, sick. Okay, very careful not to touch the printer as it does this very important calibration. I don't know, I actually really like the RGB. I know it's stupid. It's just a nice little touch. Like, it's very well done, very thin. Oh my God. Miss, no. Joy of cat ownership. Everything's a toy. All right, 1 minute remaining. Let's get this filament unboxed. Let's see what Viva Magenta looks like. That's dangling because it's unclipped itself from the clip. That's a happy sound. Self-check completed. Welcome to the world of creation. I gotta show you the, I don't know if I can get any closer. Not really. The, you won't be able to see it. The screen, like UI, it's very familiar. Oh dear. Okay. So let's see how this bad boy works. Oh, the cat wants the box 100%. It's just full of foam right now. That's the problem. All right, that's a choice. I quite like pink as a color, but I don't know about that one. Not sure about this magenta. Okay. Got my side cutters. Side cutters are on. I always do this with streams. I would put stuff down, and I just lose it. Print a little surprise today. All right, so they got a keychain. They've got Christmas star, Benchy. 27-minute Benchy. Where's the 15-minute Benchy? We could do it. Vanta pink. It's a very bright pink. Broke my own rule and let go at the end. Let's make sure it's not tangled. Okay. So I'm going to assume, I'll look at the manual if I need it. I'm just going to assume it goes in like this. Little hole. Automatically feeds. Nice. All right. That's easy. I actually really like this front opening AMS. It's quite nice. That'd be really good if you had them like in a sort of tight area. Yeah, I agree. Like stacking it on top with the right equipment could work really well. printer's default setting is 2/3 of the A1. Right. So it's probably dialed back just a little bit for reliability, which I'm not against. Yeah, here's another box for you, Ty. These little filament scraps, though, again, cat magnets, must be dealt with instantly. Does the AMS have a toaster or air dryer function? I don't believe so. I think it's just desiccant. I'll double check, but there's no power connection for it. It's just, yeah. It would need a much more powerful, like mains power or something to run a heater. Yeah, it's very light as well. Anyway, while I get this set up, hope we're all doing well. Hope you're keeping safe. It's been an interesting start to the year. Oh, air fry, sorry. My bad. It does look like a little toaster. Okay, and last one. So 3 filaments. I don't think, I'll see if there is a 3-color sample print. Might not be. But we'll run the Benchy first for sure. I don't know, guys. It's very hard to like set up a printer and react to conversations that are happening, like multiple conversations at once. I thought you were wondering if it actively heated. I mean, I was wondering that, to be honest. So I probably just fed my thoughts into your question. Okay. Right. Cool. So, judging by this setup, I don't think TPU is going to work in this. I'm happy to test it, but because it's a pusher style AMS system, I can't see TPU working in it, like all the other ones. Being able to loop, have the Benchy writes issues blown over. I think they were overblown to start with. I think. Yeah, like it wasn't actually an issue. It was like, it's actually been so long I've forgotten what the conclusion was, but yes. But I think everyone's sort of moved on from the Benchy in general. It is quite a long, it's printers are faster now and they don't really need that kind of calibration. I don't know, I don't want to take a dump on the Benchy because it's a pillar of like the 3D printing community, really. But printers have changed. Like, what was challenging 10 years ago isn't challenging anymore. Again, the Benchy used to take over an hour. But either way, let's run it. As I just said, I don't think you need to print them. Let's do it in the magenta. So, again, I wish I could bring you close to the cables, literally limiting it. Oh, yeah, can't go much closer. The interface is very simple, so I can choose what color in the CFS, they call it, that is going to be printed for each different color that's in the print. There's only one color print, so it's just one filament chosen, and print. Oh, good. Thanks, John. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure if it was actually released in the end. Open source stuff in the 3D printing world these days is quite rare. Well, having said, like, you know, that the Benchy's not challenging anymore, my clearance castle isn't challenging anymore. Like, I designed that print to be almost impossible on like Ender 3s and that. But now it just works every time. So I'm gonna have to redesign that. So one of the goals this year is to redo my calibration prints. Make them harder, even harder. So to the wire between the printer and the hot end be strapped somehow. You're talking about this one? Not really. This is a flaw in all of these style printers. They don't really have a cable carrier or anything because I don't know why actually. A cable carrier would be fantastic. So what can happen is when the machine goes right to the top, it could potentially loop over one of these edges. I don't know if it happens on this one. It does happen on the A1 though. And Bamboo A1, and it can get stuck. So yeah, it's just floppy. It does sometimes get in the way. Hello, miss. Enjoying the show? she wants that. Wants that little filament poop. These are really dangerous for the cats. These little filament things. They really like them. They're not food. I've actually moved all of my printers downstairs. This is just for the stream and testing. I've got a little section where the cats can't get to, and that's where I print now because, like look at this. Look at this stuff. Like, even if you have a purge bucket, it goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. And they like to eat. Well, I don't know if they actually eat it, but they definitely chew it. I've caught them not once or twice. And it's doing a lot of it. For no reason. I don't like, okay. I know it was standardized, like with the A1 Mini, right? Just crapping out filament is not okay. It's not an acceptable design decision. Thankfully I came prepared. Got a rubbish bit to deal with it. Cats be cats, yeah. We love them because they're so unpredictable. Tool changes of the future, yeah, John. Like, I was very skeptical of the Snapmaker. Again, like, same with this machine. I just said, hey, I'm more than happy to check it out once it's shipped to backers. Because I will not cover Kickstarters or pre-orders because so many of them have failed. And they sent it, agreed to my terms, and I was blown away by how the tool changer worked. Like, it is so fast. I will say I've had a few filaments jam in the tool heads, and getting that out is a real pain. So it's sort of, modern printers are very good until they're not. Like, they're great, but also when they do break, they're very hard to fix. So, like, my A1 Mini had a ball of death, and it gummed up the little latch mechanism that holds the hot ends in place. I need to get a new part for that because it's ruined the spring, for example. Whereas back in the day, the old E3D V6 hot ends, you just get a hot air gun and just go and just blast it off, and it'd just be fine. Maybe you break a thermistor wire. You know, that's easy. It's just a screw through. Like, printers were more basic, but therefore they're easy to fix. And that's just the progress of technology. As stuff gets better and easier to use and more intelligent, it gets harder to repair. And it gets to the point where you just have parts you just replace. And I'm fine with that as long as the parts are available and are not overly expensive. You missed Cat. Don't worry, Cats will be back. They are always back. Hey, Teresa. So good to see you. I got the other cat. Come here. No, don't jump over the boxes. Yeah. Here you go. Here's the voidling. He's huge now. Look how big he is. Say hello to people. He's not interested at all. Put me down. Have I seen the 16 color mod for the U1? Yes, it's pretty cool. For those who haven't seen it, would it be called like dithering? It gets the 4 colors and then we'll put slightly like just combine each color in thin layers to create a combination, like a mix of those colors. So it's not combining them, like melting them together. It's just printing one color then the other color, one color, the other color in a layer. It's very neat, very time consuming, faster on a tool changer obviously, with less waste. There's no way you could do it on a system like this. The waste would be out of control. The auto level is taking a long time. Auto level is unnecessarily long. I really like on the Prusa XL how it only like auto level in the same in the area it needs to print on. I'm sure other printers are doing that now, but this is unnecessary. I might disable it for the next print. Oh, sidecar MMU. No, I haven't seen the sidecar. Interesting. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about the full, the dithering is what's, those are the viral shorts I've been suggested lately, is the full spectrum stuff. Auto level is on, but you can disable it, which I will definitely be doing. Because the printer remembers the level. If you're not changing it, if you're not moving it, same environment, it shouldn't change level. Like redo it every now and then. But that's the thing, these machines are very different to the old Ender 3s and that, where like you'd pick them up and the whole frame would tweak slightly and then your level would change. Also the springs would vibrate like as it was printing and change as it printed. Yeah, I'm definitely disabling auto level. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I expect next gen auto leveling will be something like a laser scan. Well, that's sort of like what the LiDAR is, well, should have been in the Banbury printer. There was a like, I don't even know what technology it was. There was a scanning bed level, like non-contact bed level probe. It wasn't radar. It might have been LiDAR. Yeah, but these machines use a pressure sensor, like a load cell, to just touch the nozzle. That is such an unnecessary waste of filament. It's purging again. Oh, is this one the eddy current? Can't keep up. Yeah. It didn't actually do the nozzle smearing at the back, which the X1C does, so that's cool. That eventually wears like a slot in the bed, in the PEI. Yeah. So it did like 8 of these for no reason. It's one color. Yeah, I actually finally got rid of all my old Ender 3s. I used to hold on to them because, move out a little bit. I used to hold on to them because they were a good like benchmark of what people's print quality would be. So when I designed prints, I would print them, it's a loud truck, I'd print them on the Ender 3 to make sure that everyone else could print them. But eventually, I was like, well, people are moving on, and they're so far behind. They're so slow. See, it's a much more stable desk. It's still shaking a tiny bit, but I mean, any desk should shake at this height. Yeah, I gotta say, I use the U1 a lot, just because I don't feel guilty about the purging, and it can do multicolor and multi-material. Like, I print a lot of TPU, so to have TPU like queued up on an extruder, I do have to dry it beforehand, which I often forget. But that's the only machine I have that can do that. So it's the go-to, and it's running Orca. Like it's running. You can run like it's running oh man, Clipper, and you can just run straight vanilla Orca slicer in it, which you can't do on other printers now. Certain other printers. See if the camera's activated. I haven't connected it to the app. I will do that later because I'm not really a fan of apps on printers, to be completely honest. Especially ones that can stream cameras. Squeaky trucks. Have to dry TPU in Australia. You should see what the weather's been like in the last like 6 months. It's basically become the tropics in Australia. Like, our humidity's been 80, maybe even higher for weeks at a time. Like, clothing, you put it out to dry and it comes in wetter. So the camera's here. I mean, yeah, the camera's there. I haven't connected it to any computer though. I will test it, don't worry. I will do a review, like proper review. I find it funny that all these, no matter how like crazy advanced these printers are from these companies, they all still use rectilinear infill. For every default is rectilinear. Is it actually faster than cubic? Like, I don't think it is. It's just such an old, like, it's just a crap infill. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, our weather's been wild. And our air cons have been broken. Because, you know, everything's designed to only last for the warranty. So, 6-year warranty, 6 years, 6 months, the compressor breaks. Daikin. Yeah, how about that? Wouldn't honour it. Anyway, so getting parts, getting that fixed. We really need it. So the microphone I'm wearing, I think, has a noise gate, but it's very loud. It's got a very, a very loud turbo fan for the cooling, or the part cooling. I think that's actually the only noise I can hear. I can't hear any fans in the bass for the control board or anything. Hello. Where'd he go? Yeah, stop. This one's very floppy. It's like just a floppy boy. It's actually not that shaky. Like, I did a video like 3 years ago where I hung a printer from the roof and it printed perfectly. Like, when you move things fast and you decelerate quickly, that energy has to go somewhere. And when these things are moving back and forth, they'll hit resonances with anything they're sitting on. So the table's not moving that much, but this monitor is on a very floppy cantilevered arm. That's hitting certain resonances and bouncing. So it looks like the whole thing's bouncing. How are the cockatoos? I have a really funny story actually. So I used to feed cockatoos, it was during lockdown they started coming around. One in particular, we called him Popeye. He only has one eye. It's a terrible name. Anyway, he was like always alone, very sad looking. So I felt sorry for him, bought some bird seed, and he was very shy because obviously he can only see out of one eye, he's very cautious. Got more and more bold, and then I thought, well, I'm not going to keep giving you bird seed. I want to see, like, birds are smart, right? Like, especially cockatoos. So I started making puzzles for him. Then the rest of the flock figured it out because they're very smart and they have fantastic vision. So I would feed him and then more would come. And that would like ruin the whole experiment. Because I didn't want to feed the flock because they're so destructive. They are so destructive. They can eat your house. So they did start to chew the balcony, which is wooden. And I'm like, well, that sucks. So I stopped feeding them for a while, tried to do deterrence, etc. Anyway, while I was looking at the damage on the balcony, it was only like on the edge. They cleaned their beaks. It wasn't terrible. I discovered that the entire balcony was rotten. And that the previous owners of this house had painted over the rot and just not told us about it. And not only did they do that, but they had tiled over existing tiles on a wooden balcony, right? Wooden supports, wooden beams, 2 layers worth of tiling. So it was collapsing. And I wouldn't have known at all because it was like hidden unless I was looking at the damage the cockatoos had done. So, we don't feed them anymore, mostly because we have the cats. We have a new balcony, which cost a crap ton of money, but I kind of have them to thank for it. But just to complete this story, I was walking down the street recently on bin day, and I saw cockatoos raiding a bin. So in Australia, they know how to open rubbish bins. I even did a joke video on it where I like showed the cockies how to crack open like a mini 3D printed bin. They were cracking open a bin, a rubbish bin. And I'm not joking. This is 100% true. The one that was doing it was Popeye. He just stood up and looked at me. Like, he didn't fly away. They recognized faces. Oh man. So he's doing good. He's doing fine. I still see him now and then. It's so funny. They get fed by so many people. We don't need to feed them. But they are very destructive and very smart. So like you can't just feed one. Like the whole flock knows. They'll find out. So anyway, that's the saga of the cockatoos, and that's why they're probably not going to be in any future videos. Yeah, this house was definitely a flip. I mean, I feel sorry for anyone who's bought a modern house, like recently built. It's definitely going to be worse. This house has good bones. You know, they say it's got good bones. But man, the renos they've done to it. Like again, like the car. You guys have seen the videos of the house like foamy and springy the floor is. They put this like thick foam and the cheapest carpet possible over it. It was just floating, and it was rotting. Like the backing was turning into white powder, and I thought, wow, this is awful. Like, there was dust coming out of the carpet, so I had to pull it up. Do I have time to do that? No. Here we are. It's like painting the harbour bridge, right? This is Australian saying. Once you're done painting it, you have to start again at the start, because it takes so long that you have to start your maintenance all over again. That's what home ownership is. Yeah, the housing market is insane. It's like we got in just before COVID, and that's the only reason. That's the only reason we have anything, to be honest, because it's essentially doubled, at least doubled. So not only has it gone crazy, but they're also hiking interest rates again. Not to go, this is going off tangent, right? But let's just say, okay, you got someone with like a crazy high mortgage with the worst market ever. Are they the people who are causing inflation? Are they the people spending too much? We're certainly not. Anyway, rant over. Yeah, hopefully it all comes crashing down soon enough. Let's have a look at the print. So it's interesting, it's printing fast enough that it's got that sort of matte texture to it, which often means that the filament's not melting quite enough. Like when you print so quickly that the PLA doesn't have that glossy texture. But it also just might be the kind of filament, because these hyper PLAs, they add something to them so they flow better at like a wider temperature band, so they can push more plastic out. And it's pretty okay. It's got that classic Benchy hull line, which I haven't really seen a printer get rid of, to be honest. Hello. It's a whingy boy. And it's a little bit fluffy, like where it's gone between points. It's a little bit fluffy, like it's not stringy, but those little wispy bits. Oh, I'm thirsty. I think the cats are fishing for food, but it's way too early for their lunch. Are the little pyramid things on the speakers anti-cat things? Yes, they are in trial. So these sit on the print on the speakers because the speakers sit on speaker stands, right? And they're not the most stable things in the world. And the cats have used them to like parkour onto things and knocked them over before. Like, they're not expensive speakers, but they're certainly heavy, and I don't want them broken. So these are the trial attempts at thwarting it. They kind of work. More testing required, basically. Careful looking at the bed level 3D printer SOS almost took his eye out. Oh, because it goes like right forward. Yeah. Oh my god. Stop it. No. Don't worry. I'll show you what the cats are doing. They're trying to get in the box. This way. You're not allowed in there. Are you back? I think I fixed it. Oh, that was a mistake. They were distracting me and I turned it the wrong way and like ripped the USB cable out of the camera. You did this! Yes! You! Alright. So it's making some weird sounds. I'm not sure if this is... Oh no, it's just the everything else vibrating, it's fine. Well, they can play with the tiny filament boxes. It's always their fault. All right. So it should be done soon. Does anyone have any questions about the SparkX or anything that I could help with your projects or printer tips, slicer tips? Citric acid, you got some PVB in the mail. Interesting. You can smooth that with isopropyl alcohol. I haven't printed with it for a long time. It's very UV sensitive in my experience, so keep it out of sunlight. Like the clear PVB for me went yellow after not very long. No. No. Their naughtiness increases as it gets closer to lunchtime. Is it possible to set the CFS on top? Yeah, that's what people are suggesting. So I reckon you could easily just, I think, like, you know, the classic IKEA lac table. I don't think that's quite high enough, but you could just get some aluminium, what's it called? Like square tube. And then you can buy these little connectors or even 3D print them. I think you could easily do a little elevated thing and just have it on there. They might even sell something. You know, it would make sense that they did. I wouldn't mount stuff directly on the printer. I saw with the Cobra, the Anycubic Cobra, whatever it's called. They mounted. You could have spools on the gantry itself. I wouldn't put too much weight on top. But yeah, you could definitely have it above. Have I been using Filament? I have used it occasionally. I know a lot of people who do and have no issues at all, and it's made in Sydney, so which is a big props. I should be using it more. I'm just usually lazy, and by the time I need filament, I just go to JCar and get it. I said earlier that people who've been printing for 10 plus years wouldn't buy this. Why not? Oh, okay. That's not quite what I meant. I guess what I was trying to say is that if you're buying this, you're most likely going to be a newbie. Like I would definitely buy a entry-level, like easy to use printer. I use like the A1 Mini, for example, all the time. I guess what point was I trying to make? I guess what I was trying to say is I approach reviews as if I'm a newbie, not someone who has 10 years of experience. So, like, I don't approach machines being like, oh, I know how to repair a hot end. I know how to change firmware. I know how to fix problems. So I try to position myself as someone who can help, like, people get started, not tackle the really advanced technical stuff. However, saying that, what machine would I buy now? Well, because everyone has a different use case of 3D printing. What I value is speed, reliability, but reliability is above speed. And I really, really need material choice. I need to be able to print TPU, need to be able to print ABS, and some of this carbon fiber stuff, but I don't really print that much anymore. But mostly, like, I can't just print PLA. This can do, this can definitely be able to do like TPU, PETG. I will test it thoroughly, but not using this. This cannot do TPU, and this machine being open won't be able to do ABS. Like maybe a tiny ABS part, but ABS shrinks unless it's in an enclosed enclosed warm chamber. So for me, what I would buy is something more like the X1 Carbon or like the Snapmaker with an enclosure. Like those are machines that can be enclosed and have a larger material choice. But again, everyone has different needs. If you just want to print PLA, totally fine. What really matters to you might be reliability and ease of use. And that's what a lot of these machines are trying to be, like really friendly beginner machines. I've been going for longer than 10 years. Don't say that. I think I got my first printer in 2012. It was the Tier Time Up Mini, which was actually a fantastic printer. Tier Time was ahead of the curve when it came to support material generation. Like, I would say almost on par with modern printers. Problem with Tier Time is they just didn't keep up. They just were so complacent. Like, they had the Up, which is, a stupid name, then the Up Mini. Then they had the Up Box, which never really worked. Up Mini 2, which was awesome. And then they decided to split into two brands. They had Cetus. The first Cetus was really good. Then they just got weird and worse. And like, who talks about tier time now? They just did not keep up. And that's the thing, you can be the best, but if you don't keep up with the times, then you just become forgotten. I guarantee no one in 3D printing has got into it the last few years even knows what Cetus is as a brand. They were like the first desktop 3D printer company you could buy and print with. Everything else was a kit. Everything else was a kit. Any tips on how to do PLA/TPU splices together? So, I don't know if I'd recommend that. Are you doing it? Because PLA is pretty brittle, really, and you really have to interlock it properly. So, I don't know about Prusa bamboo slicer, but at least in Orca slicer, there is the interlocking layers, which I've forgotten the term for. 1 second, I will help you. I'll double check. I'll fire it up. Okay, nothing structurally important. If you're good at CAD, I would recommend just mechanically keying the parts in your CAD software. I've done a few videos on it. Like, you make a dovetail, essentially, in the CAD design, in the model, so they lock together. But I'm just checking Orca Slicer. Multi-material. Yeah, beam interlocking is the setting you're looking for. So beam interlocking is in Orca Slicer. I haven't checked the latest bamboo slicer because I don't use it. But look for beam interlocking. That's the easiest way to do it. It just will do it in the slicer. But if you're good at CAD, then yeah, I'd recommend designing in interlocking features yourself. I did a wheel recently where it had like a hard TPU hub and then the foam TPU outer. And it has a dovetail pattern with like rings. So they're physically interlocked. TTs. Whoop. No stress, happy to help. Yeah, like Incendium Het says, PETG bonds better to TPU. Oh yeah, they really want food. Yes. This is taking a long time. Yeah, okay. How long was that actually? It was a fairly slow Benchy, if I'm being honest. Can I show off the watch? Well, it's the A100 from the Alien movie. They got 2 of them and did this cool stuff. It's a re-release. I've been really trying to be more analog and more mindful these days. And I just found myself checking my phone constantly for the time, which is just terrible. So I sort of got into watches a bit. It's a bit of a problem. We'll talk about it later. All right, that was a 30-minute Benchy. That's shocking. That's shocking. It didn't say it was a speed Benchy, to be fair. Yeah, 27, yeah, it took 30 minutes. This is sort of like the classic Creality thing. It'll be like 95% there, but then they won't do the stuff that really wows users. Like a 15-minute Benchy should have been the first thing that it does, like a trinket that just is really quick. This is constructive feedback, by the way. Like, all you guys need to do is have the first file as something really cool that doesn't take too long to print. and like shows how amazing the printer is. That's all you need to do. Very simple. All right, that's stuck really well to the PEI. I'll take it off so it cools faster. But we should do a multicolor next, but I don't know how long it's going to take. The only multicolor I can see is their logo. So we'll run that, I think. If I was printing this on an OG Ender 3, it would be halfway. So about an hour to print the original Benchy on the original Ender 3. Do they still sell the original Ender 3? I hope not. At one stage they had like 15 versions of the Ender 3. So Incendium, I'm about to invest in an expensive nozzle for carbon-filled filament. Is 0.4mm too small, or will it clog? Possibly. It depends on the brand of carbon fiber and how coarse the chop is. So I've printed some really rough, really good nylon 6 with carbon fiber fill that needed a 0.6 nozzle, or it did clog on a 0.4. I would recommend a 0.6 because it just gives you that leeway. And you can print the actual more legit filaments. A lot of the carbon fiber filaments, personal opinion, are just complete junk. So in the combat robot community, we've tested so many filaments. And initially, for the small 3D printed machines, people thought that carbon fiber nylon was like the best thing in the world because everyone says it's amazing. They just exploded, like the frames shattered instantly. It's not strong on fast, like high impact. It's stiff, but the carbon's more added to stop it warping and keep it dimensionally stable rather than give it more strength. It's not carbon like interwoven, which you'd have in carbon fiber. It's not like that at all. It's sort of more just like a powder, really. So yeah, I would go with a 0.6 if you need to. Also, you don't need to spend too much on a hard nozzle these days. I wouldn't go for a crazy high-end one. All right, let's do the keychain. So I want this one to be, sure, let's just send it. Have I worked with PCTG yet? Yeah, I have. I think I've got a roll of it somewhere. I did a test with gears a while ago, testing how strong they were, and I printed PCTG in that. It was really good. I really like it, actually. You guys talking about tourbillons? I'm more of an analog watch guy. Okay, well, I know no one cares about watches. I'm just gonna have to like upset some of you, right? So I own one fancy watch, right? And it's a Tissot, which is, you know, Swiss. It's not a Tissot automatic. It's a Tissot digital. I love it. I love this thing. It upset so many people when it came out. And because no one liked it, it was really cheap. Anyway, no more watch talk. How does someone get into Robo Wars? Really easy. Jump onto the internet, search how to build a combat robot, look up some videos, get some inspiration, and then there's a website called Robot Combat Events where you can find robot events in your area and then attend one, see if you like it, and then figure out what weight classes they compete with, make some friends, join a Discord group, whatever, and you'll just organically learn from that. Give me one moment, I've run out of water. Oh man, it's purging. Okay, so it's getting the white set up to go first. This might take a while because it's gonna have to change colors. An hour. We'll see how long you guys want to stick around. So the tubes are wiggling because it's pushing filament up and down them. So it's like, it's pushing and pulling. Like the cable brake on a bicycle. So yeah, I don't know why. Well, that's a bit crap. So when it withdrew the pink, it's unwound a bit. So there's obviously no force return. What I do like on the AMS Lite, although it's huge and bulky, on the Bamboo AMS Lite, is like a return spring. So when it rolls back on the spool, the return spring lets the spool kind of keep the filament from tangling. These are just passive. Their rollers are not. It's just PLA. You can see there. It's just loose. Now it's not really an issue with plastic spools, but if they were cardboard spools, I could see it possibly getting tangled. Oh, Ninja Koala. There's actually a very active group in Melbourne. I think they have a Facebook group, but they don't post on, annoyingly they don't post on Robot Combat events. But yeah, they compete quite often. I can dig it up for you actually. Okay, it's literally called Melbourne Combat Robotics. Yeah, so they're on Facebook. You just see the wobbly table do its thing. This is not the wobbly table. This is a sturdy table. The wobbly table is not. It was too small. Yeah, stepper driver technology has come a very long way. I've been working on this experimental thing, which is just like a simple stepper motor linear stage, using the old what do they call it? 4988s, whatever stepper drivers, the old Polulu style ones, where you can change the microstepping, but it's just, they are so loud. Even at 16 microsteps, they're quite loud. Hello, sir. Whinge. But yeah, modern drivers are very clever. I forgot to disable bed leveling. Yeah, oh, this drink bottle is ruined. Yeah, look at the bottom of it. Yeah, like, I don't know what the term is, like hydrodynamic pressure or something. I dropped it, like, almost full, and the water hammer effect blew out the base. So it's just always wobbly now. I was going to ask my other half to please feed the kitties. I know, you're starving. You're dying. The events we do look so fun. They are amazing. So UNSW has this awesome makerspace called the Michael Crouch Innovation Center. Well, it's actually, makerspace is just part of it. It's a whole building. But they funded a new arena, and anyone can compete at this competition. And it's grown so much. And we're doing beetle weights soon. So for context, like ant weights are 150 gram, tiny little robots. Beetle weights are 1.36 kilos. So almost 10 times as much. And it makes a significant difference. Like they are pretty serious. So we're gonna have our first beetle weight competition soon, which I'm hoping to compete in. But time is my enemy. I'll show you my mechanism for it. Just while this is setting up, because it's so boring. Yeah, check this out. So, it's a little lifter. I spent far too long figuring this out. I'm hoping to have like a tiny linear actuator, pull it, and then lift. Something like that. I don't know, love this sort of stuff. All right, we're finally starting. And we have that much purge. I might make it a little bit lower so you can actually see it properly. That's better. There you go. Now feed the kitties. If Lady Muse doesn't do it, I'll do it shortly. Any thoughts on the Cyberbrick by Bamboo? Really cool, actually. They have a lot of really interesting hardware that's easily accessible, even in Australia. Cyberbrick was very cool too. Not really suitable for what we do. Combat robots need something a little bit more robust. Sort of more drone hardware. Zoom in on the print. Can't quite get you any closer because the cable is at its limit. But that's not bad. As soon as they hear the plates, they'll go running. Yep, there they go. Come on, Prince. Dinner time. Lunchtime. Come on. Oh, you got some kittens, John. 9 or 10 months. They're crazy at 9 or 10 months. Under 1 year was a learning curve for us. Ours were born under an air conditioner in someone's backyard to a stray that they were feeding. And they thought she was gaining weight, but she was actually pregnant. So they're street cats, but they've been lovely. All right, we're doing our first change. So it's got a filament cutter, so of course it does. Withdraws a bit. Now it's going to do a purge. I do like that you can see, like the tubes are clear so you can see it pulling and pushing. It's very slow color change. I get the novelty of it, but I can't see people doing this like that often. It just takes so much longer. It kicks out so much waste. I have a small print farm in my basement. The neighborhood strays sit in the windows and watch the printers. That's really funny. Oh, need to close the window. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think like rescue cats are like the only really way to go. I used to really, like, I've always been allergic to cats. So I'd put off getting them for years and I always thought, oh, I should get like a hyperallergenic breed or something. But it's just, I mean, this is just my experience. You may be different. So it happens that I just suffered for a while. And it kind of got better. It's not gone completely, but I kind of got used to my cats. So if you really want cats, you might be able to. Oh man, all the multicolored prints at markets, all the flexi dragons. People are selling courses on how to make money printing articulated dragons. It is such a selling the shovels kind of thing. It goes against everything I am about when it comes to 3D printing. Like 3D printing should be for prototyping, for individual expression, for turning your ideas into reality. Not for just downloading a thing and trying to flog it off like some cheap toy. Like Kmart here in Australia has articulated dragons for $5. And they're printed in China, in massive print farms. They're probably the demo prints of these things before they ship them. Like, there will, I guarantee you there will be lawsuits because they're all printed out of this, yeah, they're silk PLA, right? They're all printed out of silk PLA. I need to soapbox this. They're all printed out of silk PLA, which has poor layer bonding, interlayer bonding compared to normal PLA. So it will break easier. If you step on one of these, there's a very high chance that the shards will go into your foot. It's not like, you step on Lego, it really hurts. These will break, they'll fracture, they'll splinter. And there's already been a recall in Australia because they didn't mark the age properly. So now they've figured out a hack where they need to mark it for like 6+. But these are toys in the store. People in market stalls are selling them to anyone with just no freaking idea or care. And it's just, what are you achieving? What are you adding to the world, right? It's like when dye sublimation became more accessible. People were making these dye sublimation businesses where you could download a pack of designs, which are all AI now, and then use your dye sub machine to put them on water bottles and coasters and all sorts of things. It's not, like, I'm sure you make money for a little bit, and people have, but it's not a business. It's not sustainable. It's just, there's no growth path to it. And it just irks me that 3D printing has just become this, thing to make more crap. I use it to make designs and expand my horizons. Yeah, it's just landfill. It's just landfill. There's no way that toy is being played with more than like a week before the kid gets bored of it. Or survives, it'll just break. Like, you drop it, it'll break. Monko talking about your 2 rescue cats. They were from a feral colony. They spent their first 3 months of life in a literal prison. That's amazing. That's actually really wholesome. You can, yeah, you can socialize feral cats. Ours were taken as kittens. They kept with their mum, obviously, till they were weaned, but they were around humans from the start, so they're very socialized. But you still can socialize ferals. It takes a while. We had 2 layers in. There's already a huge pile of purge. Also, I don't know about you guys, but PLA smells a bit different these days. This is a very strong smelling PLA. I think whatever they add to the speed PLA has a different smell. I wonder what it is. It's still very like that sort of sweet caramel PLA smell, but there's sort of something else to it. Another reason I don't print in my room anymore, because I don't want Vox. Yeah, this is just like when I was testing the A1 and A1 Mini. A few seconds of action, and then just nothing, just pooping. Made the B-roll really hard to film. And it's got a purge block. Look at that. So I guess to waste even more filament. This isn't really a comment on the SparkX. It's just the industry's approach to this as a thing. Yes, the printers are faster now, but this is still a wasteful design. Across the board. It's a slow, wasteful approach to 3D printing multicolor. Yeah, no, John, you're absolutely right. Like, I often, when people tell me, oh, you're just 3D printing crap that goes to landfill, it's true. Like, yes, I can't recycle this, right? But it is dwarfed, absolutely, by your industrial waste. Like, cars come into Australia wrapped in plastic, wrapped in EVA foam. That just gets discarded instantly. All the ghost nets and like waste from the fishing industry, the packaging from every industry, all the industrial processes. This is nothing. It's not even a drop in the ocean. Still, I like to do my bit. I only print stuff that's mindful. I don't print stuff like this unless it's for reviews. I do it to show how the machine works. I print stuff like freaking show you examples. Like, I print stuff like this, right? Like, I test crazy ideas. Like, this is like a spiral drive vehicle, which I will eventually do a video on. I did a video on the original chassis ages ago. Like, this is me pushing myself to learn new things and try stuff. And it's mindful. You know, it might take 1 or 2 tries, sometimes more than 2, but it's not just for the sake of it. Having said all that, if you want to design and print sculptures and articulated prints for yourself, absolutely, I think it's sick. What I don't like is people printing stuff that it's just for the hope of it selling, or just because. You really need a purpose to run printers. That's why I think 3D modeling is so important. You need to know some kind of 3D modeling to get the most you can out of 3D printing. Yes, there's so many files you can download, absolutely. But what if you want to modify them? What if you want to add like a mount for something you've downloaded? It's just, CAD is so important. Yeah, it was the beach vid, ages ago. If I put that robot, was a remote control platform, in an arena, it would explode because it's all made out of PLA. It would not hold up at all. I end up printing tons of copies of the same thing over and over with slight changes. Yeah. So my approach to that sort of thing is like, I sort of try to do it in 3 hits. So the first one I won't be too precious with. I'll get it out so I can have something in my hands to see what works and what doesn't. Then for the second one, I will spend more time to try to really get it right, but it's still, there'll be something slightly wrong. And then the third one, I try to nail it. So like, I try to do a really rough test, then a refined second one, and then like a final polished third. But that cannot apply to everything, right? Some things are more complicated than that. That's generally my approach. Otherwise, yeah, if you just change something and then print it quickly, and you haven't checked other things, you can easily run away with your prototypes, which I've done. I've been there, absolutely. I mean, these printers are so fast now that it's easy to do. Oh, yeah, John, you started learning FreeCAD. Good luck. I need to revisit the latest version. It was usable, but it wasn't easy to learn. The learning curve was steep, but it is very powerful. And yeah, it is free. It is open source. That's very rare today, and they can't take that away from you. So yeah, best of luck with your journey on that. Looking all right. It's just taken a long time. Getting a nice little pile of perch poops. I get you, Wonko. See, that's the thing. You're the tech. You're the printing tech. They don't respect that, so they tweak things and print them again and go. Nah, that's fine. I know so many people in that sort of position. I used to do that as a job, printing on demand, and yeah, if the part just appears, and you don't have to put any effort into making it appear, I'd absolutely just have so many versions. Did I show you a close-up of the Benchy? I don't think I did. See if you can see that. See the hull line there? It's very minor though. It's like a matte, very matte PLA. I mean, it's fine. It's a good Benchy. First layer is nice. It's very clean. It's only a third of the way in. Yeah, 1440 is not going to give you much resolution, I apologize. Cool. So what I think I'm going to do is, this is going to take another, it's already been 40 minutes, so yeah, probably another hour, or another 40 minutes at least. I'm going to probably wrap up, and I'll post in the YouTube community page how it looks. But so far, I'll give you my impressions, first impressions. Very easy to set up. So this machine out of the box, all I had to do was take off a few shipping clips and connect up this, which is optional. You don't need this, you just use the single extruder spool holder. Plug it in, it did its calibrations. The calibrations worked fine, they were successful. Took about 10 minutes. And then I printed. So no issues at all. The things to see, that I really want to see, is like how Creality's slicer ecosystem has changed, because they were all over the shop for so many years. They would reskin Cura and then this and that, and they'd have the old version, it was out of date, so you'd have to make profiles all the time. So I'm gonna see what they've done to update their slicers. I'll test the app as well to see if that's any good. I'm not a fan of 3D printing apps, but I will test it for the purpose of the review. Build quality, awesome. It's sturdy. I like the RGB at the front, the little sort of indicator, status indicator, to show how the print's going. It's actually showing how far along it is, which is cool. The linear rail at the top's really nice. That's sort of where the industry's moved to now for i3s. Like having two linear rods for your x-axis was always a bit not great because they're not good in torsion. Like you can twist the whole axes fairly easily. The whole, what do you call it? Gantry. But it is very familiar. It's a very familiar design, and Creality is not the only company to kind of follow suit with the styling and the design choices that like Bambu has put in place. But time will tell to see if it's unique enough and the price is attractive enough. Whoop. I can see where that bed is dangerous. I can see where that bed is dangerous. But yeah, it is purging a lot. It is absolutely... That's a lot of poops. And that's only so far, like 3 layers. I'm actually not sure the Australian price. Let's double check. Because it's only just come out of pre-order. So... Yeah, okay, that's super attractive. So it's 650 Australian, including that. So that's their game plan. GST included. GST included. That is nuts. Because I know my, main pick recently has been the Bambu A1 Mini, which went down to around 300 Australian-ish, which is like a killer deal. But with everything to be 650, it's not bad. I need to compare it to what Bambu's A1 combo now is, because they've all slashed the prices. Okay, Bambu's matched it. Interesting. They are priced the same. Yeah, so obviously the market's crazy competitive because they've pretty much priced it dollar for dollar. So it's really going to come down to reliability, ecosystem, because I'm not a big fan of how closed Bambu's ecosystem is. I'm really not. And yeah, capability. I'm going to test if it does TPU well, because that's really important to me. Cool. All right, sweet. I'll give you a sneak peek on what I'm working on next. If you've been in the 3D printing hobby for a while, you might recognize it. So this right here is a threadless ball screw. So way back when people were trying to make cheap printers with hardware store components in the RepRap project, you couldn't buy Acme threaded screws. You certainly couldn't buy ball screws. So people were trying to make linear stages cheap. And this uses ball bearings offset at slight angles. So when you move it, well, I'm not sure, through like trigonometry, they roll up and down the shaft and it creates linear movement. Really interesting. Few issues with it for a precise linear stage, as you can see. But yeah, I'm doing a deep dive in that because it's just fascinating. And I haven't really seen anyone talk about it for 10 years. So I just sort of randomly remembered it. So that's coming next. And I'll leave this to print. And I'll keep you guys updated on the results. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. I haven't streamed in 1.5 years. It's been a crazy, crazy time. But we're getting back. We're getting back on top of things. And I know my streams are chaos and casual. And I just like to hang out with you guys. So if you want another stream about anything, any topics, let me know. More than happy to. I do have one other printer coming from Cheaty Tech, but that is delayed. So we'll see how that goes. This is the main next review focus. And I'm going to really deep dive in it. What's the V-shaped rack and pinion name? I'm not sure. I just know rack and pinion. But I'll find out because I like crazy mechanisms. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging, guys. I'll keep this running. And yeah, enjoy your Friday or Thursday evening. See yous. It is Bits of the Hoonie. I can't believe you remember that. All right, catch you later.